All right, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves.
You lunatic. Well, in that case...
You've just jumped inside the pull bag. Join TFG1Mike and the rest of the comic reading crew here at the GCRN as they make their great escape into comics. From DC, Marvel, IDW, Boom Studios, Zenoscope, and more, we have everything you want to read right here. Transformers comics? Yeah, we cover that. He-Man? Yeah, sure. DC superheroes like Batman, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Batman Beyond? Yep, we have those too. How about TMNT from IDW and I Hate Fairyland from Image Comics? Yeah, we have all that here. Plus, so much more. It's all inside the pull bag here on the Geekcast Radio Network. So without any further ado, it's time to talk about the comics we are reading right now here inside the pull bag.
Hello and welcome to The Pull Bag. This is episode 324. I'm, of course, TFG1Mike. Joining me is Ryan, the UnEvenFlow Merkley. Hello.
Are you going to do something special for 365? You'll have a full year of episodes.
No, because 365 won't release until... 365 is slated for August of 2019.
One episode a day.
I
then
wish.
you speed that up.
I wish. I wish I could do an episode a day, but I've often thought about actually doing a daily show with this podcast, but I would kill myself, and any co-hosts that were on it would never want to do it again. So
I feel like you'd have to switch it too, so that you're either doing one comic a day, essentially, so they'd be much shorter episodes.
Oh yeah, they would,
or you'd run out of stuff real quick.
Yeah. They would be much shorter.
Or run out of money, one or the other.
Yeah, well, that's already happened. So I actually said at the end of last episode, as of right now, until I magically find some more money somewhere or get a job, which physically is almost impossible for me right now, sadly. The pull bag has, including this episode right now, has the next 7 weeks of episodes. Basically, episode 324 to 330 is going to be the end-all, be-all for this year, unless I magically get some money somewhere for some other comics.
I saw this documentary on making money when you need it. It was called Breaking Bad, so you try that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Speaking of wackiness, it's Dean Ambrose. Get it?
Yes.
He's wacky.
He's a lunatic.
Come on, dude.
I don't know. I was trying.
Yeah.
Trying too hard.
You went the wrong way.
Yeah, well.
But yes, we're talking about Boom Studios WWE Volume 2, The Lunatic Fringe, written by Dennis Hopeless, with art by Serge Acuna and Doug Garbark. I could be completely screwing that up.
No, yeah. I feel bad for any of the people that have names that remember pretty much all of our IDW podcasts. I have butchered somebody's name, usually an artist. And sometimes it's people I know the name of, and I just, for some reason, get it in my head wrong. Anyway.
I'm loving this. I love that we started with Seth and his whole thing. I said to Ryan off air, I'm probably going to stop watching WWE and just read the comics at this point, because the comics are better than the televised product.
I feel that's an overstatement at the moment.
I know, considering we just gave SummerSlam a glowing review, and we said in that episode over on Mayhem Mike's that we were renewed and we were more interested again because of SummerSlam and all that, but...
And the last couple shows have been solid.
Yeah. So Volume 2 is all about Dean Ambrose and his little run at Money in the Bank. This was 2015. This is obviously after the Shield broke up. What I love about this, specifically in trade, I don't know what the single issues look like because I've just been waiting to purchase the trades on Comixology. You open it up and you have a red cover thing with him in his car. You have the creative page where WWE's logo. You've got the Volume 2. You've got the Boom Studios logo. Behind the WWE logo is Dean's logo, just like last volume was Seth's logo. I think that's cool as hell.
You're both doing this digitally, so yes. I can't tell you if there's something different about it in print.
I can't either, yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Dean Ambrose, the Lunatic Fringe, that's what they call me. I'll take it.
So it should be noted, I mean, same creative team.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopeless and there's a co-writer, Ross Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm.
And the artwork, same team as well. And I'm not going to try to pronounce it, because I know better now. No, again, the artwork's fantastic. And again, it has to look now. So unlike the previous volume, we have an awful lot more shots of just Dean.
Yep.
And so it's, on the bright side, I guess, there's technically fewer characters overall, but he still does a really good job with Ambrose. I mean, again, like I said last time, it's somebody that we know what he looks like in real life.
Yep.
So that can't be easy. I feel like the background work and some of the covers, by the way, is really good in this.
The covers are amazing. I love them.
I actually like them better than the previous volume.
Mm-hmm. What I love about this is, okay, so the first volume was basically the beginning of this 3-volume arc of the Shield. The first volume was the formation, the legacy, and then the eventual breakup of the Shield, and then the rest of the first volume took us on Seth's journey. This volume takes us on Dean's journey without having to redo all the Shield breakup stuff, like his angle of it. Like, I'm glad they did not do that. I'm glad that this is at another point in Dean's career, not just right after the break. Like, you know how some stories are. Like, look at Batman the Animated Series, the episode POV. Okay, it's from 3 different people's points of view at 3 different angles. And I'm glad they did not do that with this, because it would have been weird, and the way they are doing it, we already know that the Shield is no longer a thing, and Dean is kind of on his own thing, and we get history for him. Just like in the last one, we got history for Seth.
The other thing I want to point out, too, obviously this follows the WWE storylines, so we have a fair amount of none other than Brock Lesnar, who we've talked about an awful lot on the other show in the last little while.
Yep.
Man, he looked good in this.
He did. Like,
I mean, he looks good in real life, too, by the way, in terms of he's got a physique that he looks like he could throw me around all week and not get tired.
Yeah.
And he probably could. But he looks great in this. And then the guest star I didn't know would be in this a lot.
Sasha.
Yes, and I'm happy they were, because I like Sasha Banks, but I also think she makes a good character in this.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. In Volume 1, you basically had the 3 of them, the Shield. You had Seth and all the other people that guested in his portion of the aftermath of the Shield. In this, it's Dean and Sasha with Brock and Heyman. Like, it's essentially 4 characters, and everything revolves around those 4 characters. You still have various, appearances from other, you get the Bray Wyatt thing and whatever in here, but the 4
much like the New Day sort of showing up in the previous one and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but essentially this is just 4 characters, basically a mixed tag team trade. Essentially, it's Dean and, well, not really mixed tag because Paul Heyman's not a girl, but Brock Lesnar's not a girl.
Either or.
Yeah. So that's what I liked about this.
Don't say anything mean about Brock. If he ever hears this, he could destroy us. He's probably got a lot of free time in the outback of Saskatchewan, So
you say that like Brock actually listens to other things. Like he's just busy reading some magazine. Like he's not
in the back, apparently.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's not a lot of that in this, at least.
No.
Yeah. So I was surprised to see Sasha in it because, well, I mean, getting into it, just like the previous issue, there was stuff I had forgotten about during Dean's run that did happen on screen that I had forgotten about. But obviously a decent amount, I think, of the Sasha Banks stuff was things made up by the writers. Mm-hmm. And it works really well. Like, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've been a big fan of Banks since I started getting interested in wrestling again, which was watching some of the old NXT pay-per-views. But yeah, I'm a fan of her in real life, but I'm a fan of her here as well. I think she works really well with the character of Dean Ambrose. This is tough because I'm trying to keep straight. Like, he's a character on TV, and he's very similar in the comic because it's based off of it, but not exactly the same. So she works well with the comic character of Dean. That's what I'm trying to say. She would probably work well with the character on television, but we haven't seen that. There we go.
Yeah, we haven't seen that. And what I'm glad that they didn't do was break Dean's character to have Renee show up somewhere, because we all know in real life they're married at this point. So
I was going to say, I'm glad. So the stuff with Brock is, to be blunt, done better here than it was on TV.
Oh, yeah.
The way it's built and the way Dean gets under his skin and that kind of thing works better here than what they did on television.
Yep.
And that's tough because you mentioned him, because he's a big part of this, Paul Heyman. Heyman's really good in real life. It's got to be really hard to try to write for the guy in a comic book when the guy is almost a comic character in real life and is insanely good at it.
Yep.
And so for the writing here, part of me reads some of these and wonders, man, maybe Dennis Hopeless should be writing the backstage segments on WWE, because the ones he writes in these are more interesting to me, or at least they get to the character more than some of the stuff that's actually on air. I don't know, I find Brock more interesting in this too than he was at that time, although I don't want to get into the real life stuff too much, but apparently he just wasn't that interested in working with Dean for whatever reason. Anyway.
I don't know. So we get this whole backstage thing with Sasha and Charlotte, because that's what was going on at the time. Dean throws the briefcase to Sasha, and she basically wallops Charlotte in the gut and over the back, and he has this fight with this guy, this security guy holding the Money in the Bank briefcase, and at the end of it, the guy's like, I had one job, and all I'm thinking is your thought bubble is basically saying you're going to get fired. And then it cuts into Dean talking about his car, and we go into his backstory and how he got the car and all of this and all of that. Absolutely love it. And he runs into car trouble. And where is he going to get whatever, another alternator? Where, of course, he's going to get it out of Brock Lesnar's truck.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Even though Brock would be probably one of the last human beings I would take anything from, but...
Yep. So that's how this whole feud kind of...
That's how it started in the comic, yes.
Yeah. And Brock just destroys Shelley, Dean's car. That poor car. Oh my god. He took an axe to it. Oh my god. That just hurts my soul. I'm not that much of a car guy, but
And
I
of
mean,
course,
come on.
and of course, instead of the police being involved,
No,
since
of
this is wrestling, you actually escalate at that point rather than.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
So overall, I should note this collects issues 5 to 8.
Yep.
The previous volume was also 4 issues, so that's not any different. That seems to be the run of the arcs, and I think that works. They don't overstay their welcome, and you get enough in them. The only thing I'll say that I'm a little down on is, so this volume is not expensive. The previous volume was not bad either. The next volume is a fair amount more, which is a bit steep. Like, normally I like booms. So if you're a wrestling fan and you like either Seth Rollins for the previous volume or Dean Ambrose for this one, I'd recommend picking it up. It's cheaper than the network is for a month. But the next volume is it's $16 Canadian.
Yeah,
it's $16 American, which is even worse Canadian.
Yeah,
that's like $80 Canadian. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Now it's, and I'm sure that it'll go on sale at some point.
It'll probably drop. It's just something I wanted to point out, that the 2 volumes we've done, I think, are perfectly priced, and they're the perfect length. They're bite-sized. There's more than enough differences between what you saw on TV to what's in these books, that if you're a fan of those characters, I think you go for it. It's just at the higher price point, I'm not as sure I would recommend it as much. Now, granted, I haven't read the next volume. Maybe it's amazing and I'm crazy, but the next volume, by the way, is Roman.
Yeah, next volume is Roman
as we run through the Shield.
Yeah, exactly. Volume 3 is issues 9 to 12. And Volume 4, which is up for pre-order, it's going to be released December 12th of this year. It says it collects issues 14 to 17. I think they mean 13 to 17, but I could be wrong. Volume 4 is Women's Evolution, so it goes to the women, evolution thing with Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bailey, and
which, given Sasha here, should be pretty fun.
Yes.
So yeah,
I absolutely love Sasha's line when because we get to a point in the comic where Dean's car eventually does break down from all the damage, sadly, and he thinks that Brock is back, but it's not. It's Sasha. She goes, "Got yourself a boss, not a beast." I love that. And what I love about this comic is that Dean and Sasha teach each other something without having to hit any of the readers over the head with any kind of message or anything like that. But it helps both of them in the ring as far as what their opinions are and their thoughts are outside of the ring.
Yeah, overall, I enjoyed these, and they're fun for fans. And the last sort of note is the arc after the Women's Evolution is the one that I'm desperately looking forward to, because we get to one of my favorites. That's the Sammy and Owen arc.
Oh, okay, cool.
Owens, so...
Very
yeah,
cool.
I like that they move around, though. It would be... Now, there's nothing wrong with the Shield, but like I said before, they do a good job of not necessarily overstaying their welcome with each of the characters. And I think it's smart when they have a guest character, especially somebody you don't expect, like Banks, in something like this, to kind of mix it up. Or else you just have one person's voice, really, and that's Dean's.
Yeah. Because most of the backstory for this is Dean. Like, Sasha is there as a guest star. Sasha's there to pull him out of the way he is, and all of that. And like I said earlier, he's there to help her as well. I love the dance club scene. Dean don't dance.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely love that. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, she's a bit of the comic relief, or just she's different than he is. She's the opposite of him.
Yeah.
In a lot of this, but she's still down for trouble and that kind of thing, like Ambrose is. So.
Yeah. So the reason why I said that, you know, she and they both help each other is that when they get to the demolition derby part of the series, you know, take out the bus right off the bat. That'll be fast and maneuverable, hardest to catch, and then go after the big dog, the ambulance, and yeah. So she tells him how to do all this stuff, and they're just spectators at this place, and then he's like, "Good call, let's do it." What? Do I look like a spectator? We're winning this thing. And he points out to her, "You've got an eye for combat. When you stay out of your own head for 5 minutes and let loose, you're damn near unstoppable."
One thing I'd be kind of curious about too is if these are elements
of what really happened.
Well, that and elements of Dean's Dean's personal character. Like, I wonder if he's a car guy. I'm curious about some of that. If the writers know, or if this is something they've given to them, or it's one of the things. I mean, we don't know these people, so
right. Exactly.
I don't know. I just find a lot of this interesting. It's a snippet of. It's a snippet of the backstage stuff without it actually potentially being a snippet of the backstage stuff.
Right, yeah. It's a story that's molded around actual events that happened in the ring, like, you know, SummerSlam or whatever, you know, a pay-per-view or Monday Night Raw episode or whatever, stuff that actually did happen. But the story is outside of that, and it gives these stars, that gives their characters even more to go on, and it gives us even better insight to them.
Yeah, so I enjoy these, and I said it previously, I'll say it again, I think they're well written. I think it's got to be a really hard job to write and to draw these, and everybody who works on this is apparently down for the challenge because they keep doing a good job. Enough that I'll actually read these and actually, keep going and reviewing them.
Mm-hmm.
I generally won't review anything that I really hate, so.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Except for some of those pay-per-views, because, oh, God.
Well, I mean...
Now we're going back to the Mayhem Mike stuff again. But.
Yep. Remember last episode we did in episode 316 where we were talking about young Seth versus, real life Seth,
Yes.
Where we thought that didn't really work with the art. We get to the scene here where it's Junkyard Wrestler Dean.
Oh, the old, yeah.
And we get to a panel where we get to his flashback as a kid, and it goes to the current. I mean, the artist fully they got it. They nailed it.
Yeah,
young Dean looks exactly like current Dean. So, and
I said this last time too, and that is just that I don't know. I didn't know Seth Rollins when he was younger, so maybe it's exactly what he looks like. I should say, given the artist's talent and getting everybody else right, that it probably is. Willing to give them the benefit of the doubt at this point. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they can, get old pictures from the characters or the superstars or whatever, and then just draw from that. Issue 7 basically focuses on the part of the arc here where it's Dean versus the Wyatts.
Yep. Which I had partially, when I talk about things that I sort of forgot about, I kind of forgot he feuded with them.
Yeah, me too. It wasn't, I don't think it lasted that
Apparently
long.
It wasn't memorable because we both forgot.
Yeah, I completely forgot about this.
In my defense, my memory's shot. No,
So they, quote-unquote, kidnap Sasha.
Yep.
And Dean obviously comes to her rescue, and everything else. And I mean, Dean's a really cool character. He can be, the brash lunatic when he wants to be. He can also be a sneaky as hell motherfucker when he wants to be too, because he puts on that goat face and wow. I mean, just blends almost right in.
Which I think he did as part of the feud, but yeah. The way I remember this storyline, it was 2015 or something or other. I forget. Like, I'll have to look at this the next time they show one of the in-ring, because they'll show like whatever the date is. But yeah, so this part of the story, it's the whole Wyatt family thing with Sasha and Dean, and this is creepy. Like, I find the Wyatt family on television annoying as hell and boring as hell, but in the comic here, this is friggin' creepy. Well, maybe if they had been written a little better, like they are in the comic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's part of the problem, but yes. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, where we get to the scene where Sasha's like, "You said this was business, Wyatt. You said this was my choice." "Your choice, yes, indeed. What we have here is a family affair. Couldn't force you in if I tried. No, ma'am. Free will rules the roost, pit to pulpit, and back again. But that don't mean you get to up and leave us." I mean, just wow. And then obviously Dean crashes in, saves her. They both kick ass. They actually both destroy the Wyatt family.
Yep.
The fact that he modified her car to be a monster truck is amazing.
Then the 8th issue and the finale is the Money in the Bank story retold.
Which, again, I like it more than I did. Like, I don't even remember Money in the Bank from this year. I really don't.
I remember this year because
no, I mean from this year that the story.
Oh,
like,
yeah, no,
I don't
okay,
remember.
sorry, yes.
I remember Dean winning it.
Yeah,
but I don't remember.
No, I'm in complete agreement. I don't remember what the lead up to it was or any of that. If I remember right, I think that's the year they had everybody. They had everybody on ladders interview each other.
I think
that was not a good. It was not good anyway.
No, not good at all.
When wrestling is good, it can reflect real life. It can reflect real relationships. When wrestling is bad, it's a bunch of people just talking to each other that have nothing in common and are just thrown together for no reason and go, let's fight.
Yeah.
That was an example of the let's fight. The comic is an example of people coming together, be it Sasha helping him again in this issue, or actually Sasha in the previous issues. It's mostly Sasha. But
yeah, it's mostly Sasha. As we get through issue 8 here, her monster truck thing, that they escape the Wyatt family. Dean has her monster truck thing and the tires fall off. So, okay, he's walking again or he's hitching again just like he was when his car, Shelly, broke down. And Sasha shows up with Bailey in the Hug Life mobile.
That's right, yeah.
And then we get to T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada, June 19th, 2016. So this takes place between 2015, 2016 or something or other, because this is Money in the Bank.
Which I don't remember at all.
I don't remember either. What I love about this, and this is what I said in the last episode of this that we had done for this series, I love the internal monologue, and I love the main character, whichever the main character storyline is. I absolutely love that. We have Brock and Paul showing up again, and, Dean just can't deal with that right now. He has to, go win Money in the Bank. So he basically locks Brock in one of the trucks. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious. So this Money in the Bank 2016, KO is going after it, obviously, but Dean ends up getting it. And the sad thing is, I don't remember his cash-in, which is nuts. I
don't look at me.
I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, so, and, it ends with Sasha and Bailey. Bailey's, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yes, way to go, Dino. Pretty boss. And it ends there. And I love this. I'm loving this. If after this you want to go daily reviewing one issue per day, I don't care. I'll do that all day long. Like, I love this. I think this is so cool. I think this is kind of the refresher, one of the refresher titles that I needed to reignite I've had interest in reading comics and all that, but I've been doing this show for 5 years. Not that it's getting old, but you gotta find new things and different things besides just capes and cowls.
Can't just be nostalgia all the time, Mike.
Stop.
The other thing I wanted to mention, I had mentioned it much earlier, but the cover work. The covers to 5, and especially, I really like the cover to 6. So 5 is the one with Brock in the background and Sasha in the car and Dean in front with a well-done kind of smirk on his face. But, man, I love 6, which is just the car making the flames in the shape of the Ambrose logo.
Yeah.
And I as good as the interiors are, I really like the cover artwork for these, and those two stood out completely to me.
I love Dan Mora's art, his covers. I love his covers. His covers are so cool. We have, because this is a trade, and most trades put in the cover gallery. You mentioned the main one for 5 and 6. We have one with John. It's an alternate for 5.
Yep.
We have another one for 5 that's an alternate for Gold Dust. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's an odd one.
An alternate for 6 is done by Robbie Rodriguez. It's Finn as the demon.
Yep.
That's cool.
Who, by the way, that would be an interesting one to eventually do, as a comic about Finn and the demon. Demon is basically a comic book character, so that would work. The only other one I wanted to point out, too, is 8, which is... I don't know what it is, if I've gone insane or what. I mean, I might have, but that's up to other people to decide. The lights. I don't know what it is, but I swear it's the best lights I've ever seen anyone draw in a comic. Yeah. It was the first thing I noticed when I went through the cover gallery. I don't know what it is, but it's just really well done.
Another alternate for 6 was Jake the Snake Roberts, done by Dylan Burnett. 7's main was Dean, was done by Dan Mora, which is Dean going through the junkyard in Shelley. I love the real life Hot Rod cover for 7. That's so cool. And like you said, the cover for 8 is simply amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm really drawn to a lot of it. And I don't know, the artwork overall, like I said it before, I could rave about it for a while. Just it's really well done. It's the internal artwork is extremely expressive. I mean, they give the Wyatts crazy eyes half the time, which definitely works.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of the toy packaging covers? We've got Asuka, Ravishing Rick Rude, Big Boss Man, Jimmy Hart. Those are all really, really cool. And then I just love the end Dean art with Shelley, and of course his logo at the bottom, and obviously we have the back cover with him, fist to hand kind of a thing. I absolutely love this. I honestly, if I had the money, I honestly don't mind if I had it, I would press buy book on volume 3 right now. I don't even care that it's Roman or whatever. I'm loving this so much.
But he's your favorite. Oh, anyway.
No, he's not. Dean is. Get it right. God.
Roman is everybody's favorite. Jeez.
Sadly, not really, because even though we're happy that Brock is no longer around and there's no championship there, it's being defended every night now again, finally after a year and a half or whatever it was. Man, the boos Roman's been getting.
Yeah, you're getting into a Mayhem Mike's episode.
I know,
All right.
but still, it's a thing.
All right, that's it. Final review.
Volume 2, The Lunatic Fringe, absolutely love it. 4.5 out of 5. There was a little bit of the stuff with the Wyatts I could do without, but for the most part, everything in this is amazing. Just absolutely love it. What about you?
Yeah, 4 out of 5 for me. Same as the previous issue. That there's part of me that almost wonders if it's better if you don't know the quote unquote real story, as in don't watch the product. Because like I said earlier, I think it's done better here than some of the stuff.
It very much is, yeah.
But yeah, 4 out of 5 for me, and recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we even pointed out that we don't remember 2016's Money in the Bank. We don't remember the lead up. We don't remember the after. We don't remember Dean Cat. Like,
I didn't remember he won it until this, actually. Because I don't remember the cash in. I don't remember who he beat.
Exactly. I don't remember if he ever did. I'm sure he did, because there's only one person right now in current WWE history that cashed in and lost, and that's Baron Corbin. I'm sure there have been others in the past, but very rarely. Usually when people win Money in the Bank, they cash in successfully. Most of the time.
Baron, yeah.
Poor Baron.
Who's the... oh, no, wait. Zack Ryder, John Cena won it. That was a terrible angle. John Cena won the... We'll talk about this after. Hell with it. All right, stop.
Yeah, no. It's not.
Find me on at Nightbeat on Twitter. There.
Wow.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm at TFG1Mike on Twitter. You can follow the Pullbag at the Pullbag on Twitter. Follow at Geekcast Radio and also at This Week in Geek as well. Next time around, it's been a year, almost a full year, since Joe Reed and I talked about TMNT comics. In episode 325, we're going to be reviewing IDW's TMNT issues 73 to 75, The Trial of Krang. Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time here inside the Pullbag.
All clear.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pullbag, the GCRN's first comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate and leave a review for the show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Become a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/thepullbag. Send us an email, feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at thepullbag and at geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.